Hi, I'm Janet, a professional world building consultant, the CEO and co-founder of World Anvil. Timelines are so useful for explaining the history of your regions, organizations, cities, and more. In this video, I'll get you started with World Anvil's timelines, walk you through the interface, and help you create your first historical events and eras. Click the timelines icon here to see and manage all the timelines in your active world. Click on the title to open your timeline, or mouse over for more options. To create a new timeline, click the green Create button. Then just add a title and click here. The first time you create a timeline, you'll find the full feature guide pop up. The help guide is also linked here on the interface. You can reference that at any time. Let's start by going over the interface. Here's a timeline I made earlier. Here at the top is your title. Just click to edit it. You can edit your timeline's description here. At the bottom is your toolbar. From here you can create historical events, eras, style your timeline, and more. On the right is your timeline's mini-map. Drag your slider to reposition yourself on the timeline. These arrows jump you between historical events, useful if there are large gaps between them, or if you have a very long timeline. And this is a historical event. Use those to describe what happened in your world and when. Historical events are entities in their own right and can appear on multiple timelines. For example, I would add the founding of London historical event on an England timeline, but also on a London City timeline. To manage the full list of your historical events in your world, click Advanced Tools, then select Historical Events. This is an era. Eras belong to their timeline. Think of them as organizational structures for your time. Timelines actually have two different display modes: Timescale, which is this one, and List mode, which looks like this. In Timescale, durations are shown as lines on the timeline, and you can add your events in different columns. List mode creates a simple list display of your historical events. You can toggle between these two modes here in Settings whenever you like. To create a historical event, click the plus button and add a title. Then click the green button. Now your historical event is created, you can edit it in the panel. Click the title to edit it. Drag this slider to move it to a different column. Adjust the start and end date if you like. If you add an end date that extends into the next year or more, your event will have a duration line, like this. Add a short description here to explain what happened during your historical event. Click here to add even more information. Event type changes the icon of your event, and historical importance changes the shape of the event. Under Connections, you can link in relevant articles from your world. For more detailed help on the advanced options, browse the full guide to timelines. Once you've created a few historical events, you'll have a great timeline that you and your players and readers can browse through. To see your timeline in view mode, click the eye here. Click Edit to return to edit mode. Now let's talk about eras. Eras are organizational structures of your timeline. To create an era, click the hourglass button, add a title, and the dates your era starts and finishes. Then click Create. Some authors, like Tolkien, have many eras in their world: the First Age, the Second Age, and so on. Each of these would be one era on a World Anvil timeline. Some cultures in our world begin a new era every time a new king comes to the throne. For example, the reign of Ramesses would be its own era, starting when he was crowned and ending when he died. Other cultures might use one era for each dynasty that rules, like the Tudor era or the Shang dynasty era. Eras like these often restart their year count to 1 at the beginning of a new era. To set that up, go to your era's advanced options and change Count Offset to restart your dates from 1 or 0. Now, when you create events in your era, you'll see the new date number here under Corresponds to. You can scroll the mouse wheel to reposition your event before you create it. At its most basic level, our modern Western calendar only really uses two eras: BCE, before Common Era, and CE, Common Era. In our calendar, CE counts forward from 0, and BCE counts backwards, ending at 0. To set up inverted dates like BCE for your era, Go to your era's advanced options, then click the Invert BCE date slide to toggle this. All well and good. But as well as BCE and CE in our world, we also have the Renaissance era, the Age of Sail, the Industrial era. Well, aren't they eras too? Here's the thing. Time and eras are subjective. It's not an exact science, it's more about cultural perspective. And that means you have a lot of freedom to experiment as a world builder. So how should you start organizing your eras as a world builder? I recommend that either you start with your current era and work backwards as you need to, or you start with a major past event, like a cataclysm or a regime change, and you work forwards from there. I don't recommend starting your timeline at the very beginning of time, unless it's really important to your setting or you're very committed to building your history. Do what makes sense for your world and focus on what's important in your setting. If you're a beginner world builder, follow our How to Start Worldbuilding course to get started with your new world building project and learn World Anvil at the same time. As always, you can find more help here in the interface for timelines. To continue with the Get Started wizard, create your first timeline by clicking the hourglass in the left menu bar, then the green Create button. Next, add some historical events, and maybe even some eras. Now, grab your time-building hammer and go world build.